we're going to go through these in a sec, but I wanted to, so this, are you in this picture?
Yeah, I think. No. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm right here. Wow. I had
Long hair.
long hair below my waist. Yeah.
There she was.
Yeah.
In the research, we really turned up that the first owner, Sharp Whitley Sr., bought the house from Thomas and Betty Groom's Helm. That's where the Helms Street comes from. They sold the property here for $100.
Can you believe it? $100.
$100.
Was there? Do you think there was a house on it?
We're assuming that there
Probably
would
not.
not have been a
Yeah.
house. Whitley bought the house apparently, and it was not only Sharp Whitley that was living here, but William Whitley, Hall Whitley, Sharp Jr., and George, and they were all working on the paper that he had come here to establish. The masthead of the paper said that it was the only paper in Travis County that is owned and controlled by individuals.
I was so excited to read about that because I obviously had heard that it was the editor of one of the first newspapers here, and how ironic that we are a PR firm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that coming in to purchase the building, but wow.
Leroy Walden bought the house in 1908 for $1,600. So that jump in price is pretty clearly an indication that there was definitely a building here. He bought it to establish this Walden's Business College to teach stenography and shorthand and typing and a variety of business courses. And a business college.
It was a business college.
Yeah.
So a business college was established here.
So it went through a couple of other owners, and then it sold for $10,000 in 1911 to J.R. Morris, who was a carpenter, contractor, and builder. So I suspect that Morris either bought it to do some work with, or perhaps he was the one who added the second story and cupola. There is some thought that it was just a one-story building for a while, or maybe a two-story building but without the cupola out. And then in 1920, it was sold to J.C. Keltner, and that's the other name on the house. This is the Whitney-Keltner House. A historic house is named for first the person it was built for or by originally, and then a name would be added to it if there were a name that were in the house, a family or a person who was in the house for a long period of time.
Got it. Okay.
So it's really the Keltners that were here from 1920 to 1970.
Yeah.
So 50 years.
So how did you come about finding this property? Like how did you hear about?
It was Don.
So Don Rhodes.
Don Rhodes was pals with, he was pals with Lucky.
Yeah.
And, Lucky in the antique business, and Don and his interest in antiques and historic houses. And, Don would find historic houses that were going to be torn down, which is the Houghton House, for example.
Yes.
It was going to be torn down.
Right.
And so he managed to take this entire front porch off that house and have it moved to put on the house here.
So when did the idea of the Halloween party come about? Do you remember that?
Well, everybody just always loved to dress up in Austin. There were always Halloween parties, and we either went to Halloween parties or they came to us. And I'm pretty sure that that first Halloween party was that October of '72. And people just showed up out of nowhere. And I remember dancing and just a lot of fun that year. Now I hear that other years thereafter, I was only there for that one Halloween.
but I hear that the Halloween parties got more and more extravagant after that. And
What's your funniest memory in this building? Give a funny memory.
a funny memory? Well, I can't say it was a funny memory, but I certainly do have good memories of dancing with Don Rhodes because he's a great dancer, and Russ Thomas was a really good pianist. So, and he had a beautiful black lacquered upright piano in the front room over here, and my bedroom. I was the only one downstairs. All the guys were upstairs. I was downstairs. So, but I could listen to him, practice when he was on the piano, and he was on the piano quite a lot. And there was a big clawfoot bathtub in the bathroom that served my room, and sometimes I would just soak in the bathtub and listen to the piano. So
That's awesome.
That's some
great.
fond memories.
That's great. Why do you think people are so emotionally attached to this house?
I think it's because it has such a warm historic feel to it. It speaks to the past, and we carry with us our past in many senses. And we all have family genealogies, and this house has a genealogy too. And I think that